step, and then when amateurs get into the stance that they're told to get into, the perfect stance, oh, this must be the perfect setup because I was told that in a magazine. That is not what they look like when they're hitting the ball. When you're hitting the ball, you should have everything on the front foot. You should be posting up to the front. Your hips should be open. Your left straight arm is leading a bent right arm into the ball. Have you ever heard that one? Probably not. And then it straightens out after the hit. So get in your impact position first. Make sure you're bent over enough. Always err on the side of bending over versus standing up. You cannot hit a ball standing up straight. You must bend over into it. If you're 5'10" or less, you must choke way down on the grip, because if you're up, you have no room to hit the ball if you're bending over, if you are 5'10" or less. Grip down. Get into your impact position, and then create a setup from your impact position. So here it is. Impact position. That's what I should look like as a professional if I'm hitting the ball properly. So from there, I go down, my left arm is out, my right arm is bent into the club, and my right elbow is more into my gut than my left arm. So it's kind of like I feel like this. I feel like my left shoulder is pushed out, creating room for the right arm to come underneath. Why not get into a setup that's the same as impact? It makes no sense not to. Also, play the ball forward, not in the middle. More forward than you ever had. It gives you room to swing freely. It gives you room to come through the ball with natural power. So, instead of the hands in the middle, move them forward. It's okay. Move them forward. Come underneath. Your elbow is in the gut. I like to hover the club a bit before I take it away. And it would be something like this from here. Now, key principles. If you should know that you need to move your weight forward as the club head is back here. However, if you don't post up and get your head behind the ball, you will smother the ball. You will be too far forward, and you will have to chop down on it in order to hit it. That is a disaster. If you move your weight forward and you post up on the left leg, push off and know that your head basically has to stay behind the ball. It is a real problem for golfers to understand this, that the weight has to move forward first. As I said earlier, you haven't even swung down. The weight's going to the front leg. But the head needs to stay back or move back behind the ball. That's the only way the club can come in shallow. The club comes in shallow, it can be hit, the ball can be hit properly, and then you can then straighten out your right arm after the hit like all pros do. If you are not shallow, there is no room for error, and it will be a disaster. Have you ever chunked a ball as an amateur? That's when you hit down, you chunk. If you don't hit it right, you're dead. So, it is a complete paradox. You must swing back, you must start the weight forward, you must get the weight on the front foot, you must post up to it before you even attempt to swing down, and you must remember to stay behind the ball, or staying behind the ball and looking down that right arm like a Marine would look down his scope gives you a shallow swing plane that you absolutely need as an amateur. So to recap everything, we don't just play normally in our stance, we get into our impact position. Everything's forward in the impact position. It's like one line, straight left leg. This is kind of like, they call this hitting against a firm left side, like I'm hitting against a cement wall. There was a cement wall here, boom, I'm hitting against it, my legs pressing up against the cement wall, my shoulders pressing up against it, and I have not flipped my wrist. Everything comes through. The hands beat the head to the ball and only straighten out after the hit. Now, get into the impact position. Then where your hands are in front in the impact position, then keep them there. Step down, keep your hands out in front, make sure that when you hit a ball, you want a bent right arm to come in and then straighten. So why not bend it in the setup? Put yourself in the impact position in your setup. Makes sense, doesn't it? The elbow is more into the gut. This is straight. And it's simply this. Okay. Play the ball forward. Forward. Not in the middle of your stance. Forward. Right on that front foot. This is a 6-iron. But it doesn't matter. Forward. The left arm, your front, is your lead nunchuck handle. The right arm comes under. The elbow is more in the gut. It's more of a feeling of this. Come under. Hands forward. It's more of a feeling of having that left shoulder pushed out and the right shoulder back. That is much, much better than this. This setup is a disaster. Move that right shoulder back so it needs to come under. Bend over so you have the room to come under. You can't come under standing up straight. You must bend over to have the room for the right shoulder to come under. So set up. The beauty of that swing is you don't have to go at it full force. Say, you're between clubs and you're 120 yards or 115 yards and you just want to hit a light pitching wedge onto the green. You don't have to go at it with that type of Ricky Fowler, ba-boom, snap. You can just take your time with this swing. Have your hands forward. Come into the ball from kind of behind the ball, like your spine is tilting back a bit. Come underneath with the right hand. From a grip perspective, the grip is the classic Ben Hogan, where I can hold the club with 3 fingers. It's in my pad, under my pad. Read Ben Hogan's 5 lessons. And I can separate my fingers. Now my right hand is different. My right hand is more in the fingers. It's in the fingers and the calluses. And I have a trigger finger down. I am not gripping it in my hand at all. It's in the fingers and in the calluses. My hands are forward. My ball is forward. We play the ball forward, not in the middle. Not in the middle. If you're a professional, you can do this. You're not a professional. Neither am I. Play it forward. Firm left side. Firm left side. Sit down into it with an athletic stance, like a linebacker, not standing up straight with our knees locked. Sit down into it with an athletic stance. Set up with the left arm first. Put it in the pad. Read Ben Hogan's 5 lessons. The first chapter is on grip. Most people don't have the patience to read the first chapter. They fail in golf. That's why they fail. They don't have the dedication, discipline, or patience. Set up to it. Come in underneath with the right hand. Put it in the fingers, in the calluses. Create a trigger finger. And now with the ball played forward, you have a ton of room to hit the ball comfortably.